Once there was a king and a queen who had given birth to 3 daughters. 2 of the eldest were only commonly beautiful. However, the youngest had such beauty that even language could not properly express. Her beauty was so great that people form a crowd and enjoy the sight of her. They looked at this girl named Psyche with amazement.
As she passed along, people would sing her praises.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful?
Some even say that her beauty surpasses Venus, the goddess of love and beauty. In spite of all the attention that Psyche gets, she is filled with no satisfaction at all. She is indeed gorgeous, but no man would ever ask for her hand in marriage. Venus notices that a mortal had stolen her spotlight of fame. For she found her altars deserted, where no people came to sing her praises.
Impossible! How can a mortal surpass the beauty of a goddess such as mine?
Her jealousy grew for the mortal that she planned to punish such unlawful beauty. She then calls for her winged son, Cupid.
He was a beautiful winged youth whose arrows pierced the heart of his victim, causing them to fall in the hands of love.
I want you to make her fall in love with the ugliest man ever seen.
Cupid agreed to obey her commands and decided to shoot her with his golden arrows. But the moment he shines his light upon the sleeping mortal, the sight of her beauty startled him, and so he continued to stare at her for a longer time. As the point of his arrow touched Psyche's side, she regained consciousness, opening her eyes. This startled Cupid in confusion that he wounded himself with his own arrow, causing him to instantly fall in love with her. Psyche remains troubled in finding her one true love, which worried her parents. They soon visit Apollo, the god of truth. He tells them,
"The virgin is destined to be the bride of an immortal.
Her future husband awaits her on the top of the mountains."
Zephyr, the light west wind, raised her up to the mountains and awaits her husband. As she wandered around, a palace stood right in front of her.
"Wow!" The palace was full of golden luxuries.
Meanwhile, a soft angelic voice spoke.
"All that you see is yours."
She enjoyed living in the palace, but she has not yet seen the face of her husband. She often says to him,
Will you stay with me?
and even begged him to reveal himself. But Cupid would only say,
Why do you wish to see me? Do you have any doubts of my love? I would rather have you love me as an equal than adore me as a god.
This satisfied her for a while, but she soon started feeling lonely, with only a thought of her family. She then makes a request to bring her sisters in the palace.
Seeing the palace made the sisters envy Psyche. They also asked her multiple questions about his husband.
Is he sexy?
Well, something like that.
At first, Psyche told them that he was a beautiful youth. That hunts in the mountains during daytime.
But they soon made her confess that she has no clue what he looks like. Her sisters had told her to provide herself with a lamp and a sharp knife.
When it is true that he is a monster, cut his head off immediately.
She first doubted them, but her curiosity grew. When Cupid had fallen into his first sleep, she then entered his room with a lamp and sharp knife. As the light focused on Cupid, she then realized that his husband was not a monster nor a beast. She leaned the lamp over to have a closer look at this beautiful winged youth. But a drop of burning oil fell on his shoulders, causing him to open his eyes. Without a word, he flew out to the window and stopped to look at Psyche.
How could you? Is this how you repay my love?
And before he took off, he spoke.
Love cannot live without trust.
She had then made a decision to approach Cupid's mother, Venus.
Ridiculous! Now, you wish to see your sick husband, whose wound was given by his loving wife?
Psyche turns to her for forgiveness and begs to see his beloved husband once again. Venus then decided to test Psyche of her usefulness.
Her first task was to separate all grains and organizing them in the right pile. Her second task was to catch a golden fleece by the riverside. She accomplished these tasks, not knowing she was actually assisted by Cupid, who called an ant and the rest of the hosts to take each grains one by one, and having a river god speak to her on how to catch the golden fleece.
Venus was not at all satisfied with Psyche finishing all these difficult tasks.
Seriously? I know it was not your own doing to accomplish all these difficult tasks.
Venus commands the final task left.
Ask Proserpine to send some of her beauty here for my own use. Hurry up! Go!
A voice spoke to her, explaining directions that lead to a safe path. And the voice, whom she did not know seemed to be Cupid's, gave her one last warning.
Do not give in to temptation. Prevent yourself from opening the box, no matter what.
After completing the task, her curiosity once again creeps onto her. So she then carefully opened the box, but no beauty was found inside. A Stygian sleep, however, possessed her, putting her into an eternal sleep. But Cupid was finally fully recovered, and could no longer bear to be far away from Psyche. She flew to the spot where Psyche lay and said,
My wife, once again, your curiosity brought you another trouble.
With one light touch of his arrows, Psyche regained her strength.
Return to my mother this box and accomplish your task. I will do the rest.
He then flew to seek the god of the sky, Jupiter, regarding the love he has for Psyche. Jupiter listened and won the consent of her mother to never again bother the two lovers. As he commanded Cupid to bring Psyche in the heavens' assembly, he handed her a drink of ambrosia, saying,
Drink this and become immortal.
And so Psyche drank the liquid from the cup, becoming immortal. Psyche was now able to reunite with her husband and loved each other unconditionally. She soon gave birth to a wonderful daughter, whose name was Pleasure.